At the time when you're doing a mission, like I told you before, I'm chasing invisible submarines around in 100 by 100 by 100 by 100. At the time, you don't think about it because that's what you do. That's what you're trained to do. But when I stepped away from it, I realized just what you said. I did that for everybody else. It is nothing. Yeah. There was not one thing that was in it for me. Everything was for thee. So that I think was probably the biggest. And I just tell you personally, that's why I've continued. That's always been there. Maybe it came in little dinky layers, but man, it's always been there in every one of us. I don't care who it is. It's always been there.
You heard that there. That is South Bend Police Chief Scott Ruszkowski talking about the why behind serving our country. More of that later, but first, thank you for listening to another episode of Round the Bend Now and Then. My name is Matt Emery, and I'm a local history nerd. My main mission in this podcast, as well as other Round the Bend material, is to create engaging content that shares how intertwined the South Bend and Mishawaka area's past is to our present. In the podcast, I interview local leaders, business owners, and community members to help tell their stories, because their stories help tell the story of South Bend and Mishawaka. The main intent of this episode is simple: to honor heroes. Specifically, the heroes that served our country, our United States veterans. This past Saturday, November 15th, 2025, I was honored to be a part of a Hometown Heroes event that was held at the Indiana Dinosaur Museum. The main purpose of the event was to spend a full day to come together as a community to honor and celebrate the courage of our veterans. Previous guest and author of the book Canyon of Hope and fellow 1996 John Adams High School grad Eric Donahoe called me with an idea to put together something here in the South Bend and Mishawaka area to celebrate our veterans. He knows I'm the type to dive right in, so I said, let's go. I emceed the morning event where there were speeches given by varied speakers, including representatives from Senator Todd Young and Congressman Rudy Yacom's office, South Bend Police Chief Scott Ruszkowski, Canyon of Hope author Eric Donahoe, as well as leaders from the organization Stop 22 Michiana, an organization dedicated to ending veteran suicide. The last event of the day was a fireside chat with a dozen or so veterans sitting in a circle, sharing varied stories from their service. I was sitting back absolutely just mesmerized, just thinking about how much these folks sacrificed for us. But in between the morning and the last event, we recorded an episode of Round the Bend Now and Then, right in the middle of the Indiana Dinosaur Museum. I was honored to interview 3 local veterans to shine a light on their service and also learn more about what we can do to continue supporting our nation's veterans. I want to thank Bill Krueper, Victoria Molnar, and South Bend Police Chief Scott Ruszkowski for sharing your stories. As you'll hear in the interview, their stories of service may vary, but they're still the same. All 3 of them served our country, like millions of others out there, and those millions deserve our thanks and deserve our gratitude. I cannot tell you the feeling that I had after the event ended when I was driving away from that place. All day long, I was amongst heroes. Be sure to check out the show notes for the website links to the varied veteran support services that we discuss in the interview, including invets.org, battlefieldstoballfields.org, and stop22.org. And now, here is our interview recorded live at the Hometown Heroes event.
Well, first, hey, thank you guys for joining us on this special edition of Round the Bend Now and Then. I'm just honored to be a part of this Hometown Heroes event, honored to meet with you 3. I'm truly appreciative of our nation's veterans and glad that I can just have a little part in helping to celebrate.
Happy to be here.
I love it. Love it. It's also neat that you guys are all 3 from the area, and we'll talk about more as we get going. And I just want to just spend a little time shining a light on veterans and shining a light on things that we can do and support that we can give to veterans in our community. So we're sitting here with South Bend Police Chief Scott Ruszkowski. We have Victoria Molnar, Bill Krueper, all varied veterans of armed forces. And we'll hear a little bit more about that as we get going, about your specific services that you guys serve for. But just a few housekeeping notes that, like I said earlier, while we're live here, we're recording and we'll edit it and all that good stuff. So we'll start with I just want to hear a little bit about your backgrounds, where you're from, where you went to high school, all that good stuff. Victoria, we'll start with you.
Alrighty. So I grew up in Mishawaka area, and I went to St. Joe Mishawaka Elementary School, and then I went actually to Walt Disney for 5th grade.
All right.
Schmucker for 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then I actually was getting in too much trouble in middle school, so my parents sent me to Marion instead of Penn.
And when you were at Marion, you just were perfect, right?
I was a perfect little angel, of
Okay.
course.
All right. So you're a Marion grad.
I am a Marion grad,
All right. Bill, what's your background?
All right. Hello, everybody. Bill Krueper. I was born in South Bend. We moved out to Granger. I'm representing with the T-shirt here from the Michiana area. Went to Pearly. Shipped us out there in buses.
Pearly Foxes.
Yep. Pearly Foxes, Tarkington Tigers, Edison, John Adams, and moved on to St. Joseph's College, which is no more, and then Ball State.
The Ball State Cardinals. Scott, what's your background? Where you from?
I'm from South Bend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna date myself here.
Yes.
So I went to Oliver Kindergarten. Nobody even knows what that is now, but some people should, especially
Indiana
veterans.
and
Yep, absolutely. Then I went to Our Lady. Then I went to Holy Cross. Then I went to Brown Middle School.
Okay.
And when it was a middle school,
Yeah.
and then I went to LaSalle High School when it was a high school. So everything I've had is like pretty much. There's still mortar and stone in most of those places, but it's still
a little bit different than it was.
long time ago.
A LaSalle Lion. All right. We have a Knight, 2 Eagles, and a Lion. Next, we'll just briefly describe, what branch of the military that you chose to join and why you chose to join it. Let's start with Bill.
Yep. So I'm Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy.
All right, and we have Chief is clapping here. So
Right. His brother was in the Navy. My great grandfather was in the Navy, and so it's in the family. I was recruited by Army in high school, but I couldn't do that. So went to Ball State and then ended up in the Navy.
So you went after college.
Yeah. Interesting. I just graduated college.
Yep.
I was supposed to go to boot camp on the 23rd of December. My mom, who just left here, called somebody and made it be where I could just show up 5 days later after Christmas, but went in just before the turn of the 2000 when you all were out partying. I was
millennium.
in my rack at boot camp.
Wow. That's wild. Scott, what background are you serving?
Yep. So 2 uncles, 2 cousins, grandfather, all Navy. Every male relative was in the service. My dad is the youngest of 14 surviving kids. He's the only one left. He was in the Army. I don't hold that against him. I will tell you though,
that's what we do. It's fantasy.
I'm learning as we go here. Yes, I love it.
This is really weird. I've never gotten over this, so to speak. My mom and dad were like not even hesitant to sign me away at 17 years old. I graduated high school at 17, so you have to have the signature.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, when the recruiter threw that pen on the table, they fought each other to sign that to go away. I was actually a good kid, and that's something I always wanted to do. It was a matter of resources and funding. 4 boys back then. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to do stuff with my hands and more so with my mind and hands combined. And I thought that was the best opportunity, and something told me I needed to do it. And of course, they put the pen to it. And mom and dad always know best, obviously. So
you were you were a senior in high school when you signed up. So you knew after graduation that you'd be heading to the service, to the Navy.
Yep. Graduated in June, and I was in boot camp in August, and I turned 18 in boot camp in September.
Wow. That's wild. That's amazing. Victoria, talk to us.
Yeah, so none of my first line family were military, actually. So I was the youngest of 10 and a blended family.
Yep.
So I had a lot of siblings, and I saw them all go off to college, and I was just like, what do I want to do? I want to travel. I want to see the world. I don't want to have college debt and rent and all that stuff. So I was at an air show with my stepdad one year, my junior year of high school, and then it was pretty cool to see all the planes and stuff. And then there was a recruiter in the high school, and I was like, yeah, let me see. So I went, and I was going to join the Army. And then I was talking about how many weeks the boot camp was, and then an Air Force guy over here was like, hey, you want to come talk to me too? So I ended up joining the Air Force junior year. My parents signed for me as well for 4 years. And then once they signed that first piece of paper, they can always dangle more money or more stripes in front of you. And so I knew I was going to join the military before my senior year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so in knowing that you're going to do that while you're in high school, I mean, your lens is totally different than some of your classmates.
It really was, because I didn't have to worry about all the college applications and going, worrying about school tours and everything.
Right.
And I'm like, cool, I'm just ready to join. And so I graduated June 4th of 2004, and I was in boot camp June 21st.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just wild.
I know.
It's just such a different frame of mind.
Fast
you know?
turnaround.
Absolutely.
Well, and I got out, I was leaving to get on the bus, and I was like, all right, guys, I'll see you in 6 years. And they're like, you said 4. We signed for 4. I was like, oh, yeah, I changed that because they were going to give me 2 stripes and more money.
Ahead of time. They
And I said, well, I'm doing 20 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Wow. That's just nuts. It's just a different frame of reference, different view than other kids.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is a South Bend and Mishawaka area podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all are all from the South Bend and Mishawaka area. So before we get into more serving our country, I'm going to ask each of you a question about South Bend and Mishawaka area. Chief, you are South Bend through and through, and you've probably seen a lot. What is one building or one area or something that is not here anymore in the South Bend area that you miss?
Probably the building that used to be right across the street from the police station. I look out my window every day and notice that it's not there. We have Ignition Park now, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I kind of miss seeing that building, knowing how much of my family, probably everybody in South Bend has a relative or a friend who worked at the Studebaker or the foundries or whatever. But there's more than just that one. But that was always the one that I think, and there's remnants like right behind us. If you know the Renaissance District there, yeah. So that's still pretty neat. They've done a lot of work, to that. But I definitely do miss that.
Yeah.
And the pace, I think, is what I miss most back then. I'm
gotcha.
dating myself.
Of course,
I get it, but kind of miss that pace.
Right. So that what you're speaking of across from the police station currently is Ignition Park, which is a wide open green space, which they're, the vision is to have different businesses and stuff there. But what it used to be is a Studebaker factory. And then it was South Bend Lathe after that. And so, literally right across the street. And then with that being the Studebaker area, all the people that come. So is that what you're speaking of, the kind of the hustle and bustle of it all?
Yeah, absolutely. And in Mishawaka perspective, it's like ball band.
Yes.
Like that's where we got our tennis shoes. That was like the big deal when we could scrape up enough money to get the tennis shoes. The
Red Ball Jets
Red
or whatever
Ball
they're
Jets.
called.
Yeah, absolutely it was. Man, I ran my paper out with them suckers on. I can tell you that.
Are you a Tribune?
I was. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm a veteran of the Tribune.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So that's what I am.
Nice.
Tossing paper.
Hey, you got to teach them young, Teach them young.
It's a great first job. Keeps
For
them
sure.
active and
Absolutely. Getting to know the neighborhood and everything. And Bill, when you left South Bend, Mishawaka area, and you were in the service or around for those couple decades, what were some of the things you missed about South Bend and Mishawaka? Was there any place, any restaurant, anything?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about it right now. That would be Barnaby's Pizza. I mean, you can't beat the crusted. I'm a sausage and mushroom type of guy, so I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. We used to go there after football games, and
at school field.
Meet people when I come in town there to get something to eat. So that's definitely the answer. Or driving past.
Yep.
Okay, got to mention Notre Dame.
Absolutely.
Just the advancements in the different buildings and that
Right.
five points situation right there by the old Pearly School.
Night and
It's
different.
always great to see that.
Night and day difference right now.
Coming through.
That's Barnaby's. I figured one of you guys would say that because that's what a lot of out of town folks or who they leave, they want Barnaby's. Victoria, when you were gone, is there anything you missed about your hometown?
Yeah, obviously family, because my whole family stayed here. But hacienda. Every time I come home, I'd want to come home and eat at hacienda.
Chips and salsa.
Yep, or hanayori with
Yes.
the egg yolk sauce. I'm like, can I get 4 scoops of that, please? Those are like my places that I would always be like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? We're going to one of these.
Yes.
I'm only home for 3 days. I
Yep.
gotta eat them.
That's wild. Chips and salsa for the hacienda.
Oh
and
yeah,
then-
Don't forget the ranch.
yeah, right.
Oh yes.
Gotta have the ranch.
And green. I'm a green salsa guy. I like you
Yeah.
got to ask for the green salsa. Special request.
Oh.
So Victoria, is there anything from your service, any skills that you've learned that has stayed with you over the years?
Absolutely. So obviously respect and discipline,
Okay.
right? And independence. I wanted to be independent. That's why I joined the military. So I am now actually independent again. I'm a single mother of 2 children, 2 teenagers, and I love it. And also being a mechanic in the military on airplanes, it helps me. I can fix anything around my house. And I also instill that into my kids. Well, he was 13 at the time or 12. changing out water faucets and doing all of that, fixing things that we can around the house because we don't have to bring someone in. I did bring someone in to replace my water heater because it was heavy and big, and I didn't.
It's kind of dangerous dealing with gas,
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm like, just do that. But that is the independence and the hands-on, and I'm gonna figure it out, and that's how I do it.
That the whole attitude of this is me, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive into it and try to figure this out.
You put something in front of me, I'm gonna figure it out.
I love it, definitely. Hey, Bill, man, you entered the military, like you said, after senior year of college, man. How does that shape you into who you are today?
It's a great question. Look, you go into the military thinking one thing. Okay. You get assigned somewhere else. You're either following people or in charge in different situations, and you realize that it's a beast. It's a big machine that's going to keep rolling, and you've got to. Hopefully, you believe in the mission. Yep. And I've learned through all my time that I now view everything through the lens of training. Okay. So I've been through some of the world's greatest training, from nuclear power to aviation to civil affairs with the Army situation. But if you look at things through the lens of training, you're going to take care of the junior person, and you're going to set the unit up for success for the person at the top. Okay. And it's all about improving throughout the time you're there. So
a whole bunch of togetherness, not just the person being trained, the person doing the training, and it's just a big cycle, really, Yep.
Well, you have to train the person behind you, because if you fall out, they have to take your spot too. So it's all
next one up. Yep, definitely. Scott, what are some attributes that you learned while serving that you continue to utilize in your daily job of leading this fine police department?
Dude, that's a beach ball question there, man. I mean,
I told you it's going to be easy.
I went from military, which is laughable, and I'll tell you why in a second, to paramilitary. Okay. So it was a step, not being disrespectful, but it was a step down.
Got you.
From what I learned, and much like the comment you made about independence, that was my vision at first. Like, I get to be independent. Like, the furthest I ever been away from home was Kings Island back when I was a kid. And literally, I go to boot camp, then I'm in my A school in Philadelphia, and then I'm overseas. I'm in Sardinia, Italy, as a just brand new 18-year-old kid. Single. Wow. That'll leave the rest to your imagination. Gotcha. But all these things that like I had thought were that's not what really happened. Yeah. Right. The good news is I started off tinkering with little small engines. That's still a hobby of mine today. And that's what I said before. I wanted to do mind and hand combination. And I was a welder, plumber, pipe fitter, sheet metal, you name it. I was a jack of all trades. Navy guy, you remember a hull tech. I don't even know what they call it now, but as a hull maintenance technician.
Hull tech.
The jack of all trades, did everything. And much like you, that's why I motioned to you. Like, you could have called me. I could have put your water heater in. Trust me.
Well, I'm going to get your number now.
I'm just proud that you didn't say hot water heater, because like you wouldn't need one if it was already hot water. So like a lot of people say it's a hot water heater, but I'm so glad that you did do that. So
and I did YouTube education it to find out if it was a small part I could fix myself or if it was the inner lining that busted. So I realized it was a big job.
Yeah, but that part and it wasn't the advancement I was a second class when I got out. I did 4 active and 2 active reserve. Now I am going to date myself. I went in 1982 and got out fully 1988. Nice. But when I got out, I wasn't sure still what I wanted to do.
Gotcha.
But there's a story behind that story, which hopefully we'll get into later to find out why I became a cop. Not because my dad was, not because my grandfather was.
Let's hear it.
So I go in. I already told you what I did, right? Yeah. I did the plumbing, pipe fitting, all the real cool stuff. I'm on shore leave in Virginia. I get in a motorcycle crash, blow my knee out. So they do their surgery. I'm doing rehab or whatever. In the midst of this rehab, they're like, "Hey, we kind of need some help doing some shore patrol duties." I'm like, "Okay, like what?" You're not going to like this story, but I'm glad that you're here. So I do some shore patrol duties, which was consisting of taking prisoners from brig to court martial. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'll keep it clean here, like,
of course,
dude, these dudes are not good dudes.
Yeah.
That was already in my mind because that's what people think. That's what I thought. I didn't know any better.
Right.
But every once in a while, we'd stop at the chow hall and get a bite to eat in between whatever it was, coming or going. Yeah. And actually sitting down like we are right now, having a conversation with some of these kids, and I was one myself, and like, man, they just screwed up. I screwed up. Maybe I didn't get caught, or maybe it wasn't as bad, but they just made a mistake. Yeah. And that was the sparkle. Fast forward, as my knee got better, they said, hey, well, we need some patrol duties. I'm like, what do I have to do? Well, we'll put you in a car. We're going to give you back then we had 45s. We're going to give you a 45, a nightstick, and a radio. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Well, just listen to the radio. We'll tell you what you need to do. My very first night, an intoxicated Marine crashes the gate, crashes his car, and takes off running. Now, here I am, blown out knee, but I'm young. I'm resilient. I know Sarge brought it up earlier. And I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to do something, so I'm going to chase this guy. I did. And I got my white dress Cracker Jacks on and tackle him in the grass. A little scuffle ensues, and I get him in handcuffs.
Nice.
And then I don't know what else to do. Anyway, some of the other Marines and stuff came over, and the guy actually got put away. And it was that moment.
That was it.
Well, it was. So now the sparkle became the flame.
Yeah.
Combining both of those.
Yeah.
Good people, good kids making a bad choice.
Right.
And even this one was not exempt either. It was a little bit more harsh compared to some other things.
Right.
But that's what sparked me. And from that moment, I'm like, man, I got to do this.
Right.
It wasn't DNA. It wasn't like my dad trying to recruit me as a recruiter to do it or anybody else. And third generation, I have a son on the police department and a nephew on the police department now. And I got another one. By the way, when I told you I didn't go to college, I'm reaping what I sow. I have 2 boys in college right now, one at Ball State and one at IU Bloomington. So
there you go.
I'm paying for that.
Yes, you are. And it's not Purdue.
That's right.
I'm just messing around. I'm just playing.
My money goes to IU with the stepdaughter. So
yes, and hey, we all want our kids to go anywhere as long as we can build them for success. So even if my kid went to Purdue, I guess I'd be all right.
Boiler up, Isaiah.
You what?
I said boiler up, Isaiah.
Oh, that's your nephew. Heck yes. Those of us who have not served, obviously, we do not fully understand. We don't even have a sliver of understanding of what it was like and what your varied experiences were like. So I'd like to just take a few minutes just to ask you about ways in which we can help others understand somewhat of what your experiences were like. Bill, what do you wish more people would understand about military service and serving our country? What would you think? What would you want more people to understand about it?
Look, veterans as a group and those active duty, we get thrown into one lump sum of, hey, it's a veteran. But we're all unique. We all started in different places, whether we're all from South Bend, Mishawaka, Granger, Mishawaka, etc. The background before you go in is different. The experience that you have while you're in is completely different from Navy to Navy, even within the same unit, whatever it is across the service. So you go through a completely unique path. You're tied together with the teamwork and all of that everyone talks about.
Right.
But by the time you get out, it's like you get thrown into this lump idea that it's common and it's exactly the same. And so, okay, thank you. And we know exactly what you did, but
we don't.
You don't.
We don't have
the
a clue.
Story is unbelievable for everybody.
Yeah.
And I just say that, if you could look upon that and just realize that, okay, yeah, we're veterans. Thank you for bringing the term in, but I'm also just a human.
Absolutely.
And I'm a unique individual with thoughts and feelings and all of those things combined.
So we all bring our own unique perspectives, our own unique lenses and experiences to the table. Victoria, what advice would you give to anyone considering joining the military today?
I think it's a great stepping stone to becoming a good human being.
Okay.
They give you the discipline, they give you the respect. It teaches you how to be in uncomfortable situations with people from all different backgrounds. I actually tried to talk my kids into being like, hey, you should join it, even if it's just for 4 years and then getting out. Just because, again, the independence, you learn how to deal with money, you learn how to pay bills, you learn how to figure things out without mommy right there next to you, you know? So I would say it is a great stepping stone, especially if you don't know what you want to be or you don't know what you want to do and you don't want to go to college and get a whole bunch of debt and do a degree that you may never use, because you can also do your degree through school and get your GI Bill. Like I didn't want to go to college, but I then did college while I was in, and now I have 2 associates, a bachelor's, and a master's, and I'm not really using it, but it is great, and it helps you decide what you want to do or who you want to be.
Because often at that age, when you're 18, 17, signing up, you don't know what you want to be, and the skills that you learned from serving will launch and project you forward to helping in any career. I mean, my gosh.
You can use those skills in any aspect of your life, whether it's fixing things or learning how to build things or even just finances.
Yeah, or even the way that you attack a problem or something.
Right.
Like you are more resilient. You have more problem-solving skills.
Exactly.
So, man, Chief, what would you say while you served in 82 to 88? Is that what you said? What would you say were some of the most challenging aspects while you were serving?
Well, for me, it was again like such a young age, and then like the culture shock.
Okay.
I got it, and it was very adaptable. I actually laughed about when we went into boot camp. Like you have to have the 45-degree hospital corners and what. Like we had to do. I did that when I was a kid. Like that's how I grew up.
Okay.
So it was like almost laughable. But I think the culture shock itself, being in a completely foreign country.
Okay.
And then it wasn't bad, but just trying to adjust. Like for 18 years now, I'd known nothing different until this one moment in time. I adapted quite well.
Of course.
There was no drinking age, by the way, in
I'm
Italy
sure.
then. If you could climb up on a bar stool, you could get whatever you wanted to drink. So being an 18-year-old with pretty much unlimited freedom was
some perks.
Yeah, they definitely had some perks, but I think that culture shock itself, but that's a positive, not a negative shock.
Yes.
And then to your point, experiencing different cultures on board ship or on inboard community.
Okay.
I think that was huge for me.
Yeah. A little bit different than Elwood Avenue over on the northwest side of South Bend, right?
Oh yeah. That's right down the street from where I grew up, actually, as a matter of fact.
Well, even so, in those situations, like if you're on the ship and you have a mission or a thing you have to do, you may not like the person to your right, but you're going to figure out how to work with them to get it going.
Life.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's life.
Yeah. That's literally, that's life. Veterans returning home. As of 2023, there are 15.6 million veterans in the United States, and we're here today to honor and celebrate the millions who have served. And I want to take a few moments just to talk about veterans coming home. I mean, and like you said, Bill, everyone has varied experiences. However, we all can learn a lot more about how we can help support veterans when they come home. Chief, what types of support do veterans need most when they return home? I know that's a broad question, but
it really isn't.
What can we do?
We had just discussed the culture shock, and that is literally what happens when it doesn't matter if there's conflict that you're involved in or not. Coming back to something that you've been away from for 2, 4, 6, 8 longer, an entire career, back in the community that you remember is no longer the community that you remember.
Yeah.
I just know, I can tell you, I speak on behalf of every veteran. Now you throw in the experience that they may have had to endure. Like I had the Grenada conflict. Most people have no clue where Grenada is or what the conflict was even about. Heck, I can't even remember what it was about.
Right.
So you take that most simplistic degree, or even less, was at one of my my duty stations, I was on a frigate. So I chased enemy submarines around 100 miles in each direction in a square. That was my job. Besides the the on-scene fire party and sneak attack and repel borders and all that kind of stuff. But you go from that looking to your left and somebody's there, looking to your right and somebody's there. And then when you come home, it's your family. But then when your family's not there, there is nobody to your left and there's nobody to your right. And you're like, hey, what just happened? Nobody told me where I needed to go, what resources I could get, who could I hang out with.
Yeah.
It was like right back into the civilian world. No disrespect to the civilian world, but there was nowhere for me to look to have somebody similar
to relate.
Absolutely. There was nothing.
Yeah. That's most definitely that can help us help understand, the veterans who come home. Hey, Bill, how can we better honor and support veterans throughout the year, not just on Veterans Day?
He hits me with the tough ones. So, I mean, everybody.
You're a 1995 John Adams grad.
John Adams graduate.
You can
I'm gonna
be
step
hit
up to
with
the plate.
any questions.
No problem. Look, Veterans Day, and then the other main one on the other side is Memorial Day, and people get those confused sometimes. Veterans Day is for anyone who served, and Memorial Day we're honoring those that passed or didn't come back with us. I just say give a veteran a chance.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Yep.
Figure out do they have an issue, or are they just a guy who's going to the Cubs game and he's looking to cheer it on? Like not every time. Like we're trying to break that stigma of we're the broken group walking around.
Yep.
Just talk to them. Maybe they don't have the hat on like I do, but maybe you just talk to everybody who's
like a human
who's coming
being
up to you
and-
like a human.
Yep.
Treat people with respect.
Dang
like
right.
Victoria said.
Yep.
And then I just add this in here. One of the other things I learned and seen is like I never heard the word empathy ever before I went into the service. But it's like it's instilled in you that you're treating everyone the same. You're respecting people. You care for them. You care for the person on your left and your right. And that's what we need to do as a country right now. And so why not just reach out to your neighbor if they happen to be a veteran? Well, that's great. Shake them, shake their hand,
Right.
look in their face, look in their eye, and then talk about the day.
Speak it.
Yep.
See, I knew that answer would come from a 1995 John Adams graduate.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Victoria, what are some things that we need to be sensitive to veterans who are coming back into civilian life?
So they may not have the degree or the experience in manufacturing specifically. You know what I mean? But they have the skills and the ability to learn those positions because they are thrown into civilian world, and if you put a task in front of them, they will learn it. It's just about giving them that opportunity within an organization or a company and giving them a shot to make it, and they will excel if you give them that shot. But like you said, not every veteran is on the same caliber, so they may not be the perfect if you get someone who has been in an office their whole time versus a mechanic and you put them in a manufacturing, you may need to find a different position for them. But really just giving them the opportunity to show what they can do
Right.
and understanding that.
Okay. All right. Now, we've kind of been talking in general.
Right.
I want to ask you some specific questions about when you guys, about your experiences. Bill, what was it like when you came home? Like when you first got home after serving? You specifically.
So I retired December 31st, 2019. So basically 2020.
Yep.
I'm planning on taking about 3 months off before I figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. And went on a vacation with my wife. We come back into the country and it's shut down. COVID hits, the big C word. Nobody likes it. But that just extended my time from 3 months to 6 months to 7 months. And I'm like, oh, what do I got to do here? It was rough. Like Chief said, like, look, your purpose was just pulled from you.
Yeah.
Your passion is still anything that you want it to be ahead of you. But like, it's like you're 18 again or 17 for those who joined early. Wow. The world's your oyster. And there's so many options out there.
It's overwhelming.
Eric Donahoe mentioned how many nonprofits there are. There's all kinds of people who are trying to help, but for the individual, you're like, okay, where do I go?
Yes.
And what do I do next?
Yes.
And I heard of this, but I heard of that, and I'm not sure which one is for me.
Yes.
And it's overwhelming just to think of what should I do next.
Yeah. Wow. I can't imagine like being how old were you? 42?
42, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 42, and I'm, just thinking, what do I do? So in the service, I flew and I did multiple different things. A well-rounded officer, as they say in the Navy, but that doesn't set you up for job XYZ when you step out.
Wow.
Right.
So you have to learn to adapt your background experiences into something that you want to do and translate it well.
Man.
Well, and that's why I love like what I do now is because I was the same way. After 20 years, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I've grown up. I'm 38 now, and and luckily in vets, I became a client of InVets, and they actually have all been out of the military, and they help guide us of what we want to do. And luckily, there was a position that opened up, and I was like, yes, I would love to help other veterans that are getting out and say, hey, yes, have you done your VA claims? Have you done your housing tax benefits? Have you went to the VA? Have you done all the things that you need to do? And now what do you want to do for work? You know what I mean? Like, where are you going to move? Do you want to move in Indiana? I will help you get here. So it is really, and I know when you guys got out, you didn't have that system. So that's what we're trying to change that mindset.
I got you. So you, as soon as you got out, you continue to help others in the same arena.
Right. I've been in their boots,
kind of like
so
an
now I'm helping
extension
them.
of it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What, Scott, when you, if you recall, back to 1988, I was 10. If you recall, I'm just messing with you. I won't leave that.
I was 2.
Oh my goodness.
Scott, when you did return from serving, what helped you the most in just returning to quote unquote civilian life?
I actually jumped right into I got a welding job as soon as I got out.
Okay.
And then I worked another job, actually 2 more. So I was going through a divorce at the time.
Okay.
I knew everything at 20 years old.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and forget mom and dad signing in the first place and trying to give me other advice, but I didn't listen. I should have. But things always happen for a reason.
Absolutely.
We may never know, but somebody will.
Right.
I jumped right into work as soon as I got back. That's how I was brought up. I was delivering newspapers at 9 years old and shoveling sidewalks and mowing yards like probably most people are.
Yep.
So
that helps you just kind of just diving in and just doing things and just staying busy.
Yeah, that's my demeanor. I'm 61 years old. I've been a cop for 37 years.
Yeah.
Police work total for almost 40 years. And then 40 whatever years total with military and everything else is like I don't know anything else, and I don't, quite frankly don't want to know anything else. That's and there are many like me.
Yeah, I'm sure
people just don't know them.
Yep, definitely.
And I'm sure the police force is kind of like the military, where you have that camaraderie and you're all on the same team. And that's one big thing that people miss when they come out. If they're not joining a team like that, it is hard to work remote or to be alone or, to sit behind a computer all day, because they're used to that banter. They're used to having someone to their right and to their left. So that is a hard thing for people leaving the military.
Absolutely, and all the cuss words that we learned in there, by the way, which is like carries over in police work for whatever reason. But I'm so glad you said that. That's why I said we have 56 veterans in our police department, and some are still doing some active reserves. But one thing, and I'm not trying to take this down or whatever, but you guys I didn't bring it up this morning specifically, because I hope it's going to be addressed later on in the fireside. I will tell you that in the military, you essentially know your enemy.
Yes.
You know the mission, you know your enemy, you probably know what they look like, what their intentions are, and we train to deal with that.
Right.
At home, you don't know who your enemy is. So I'm talking about from a police department perspective. You don't know what they look like, what their intentions are in every single call. And you'll hear this hopefully if my man shows up, he works midnights, but you need to hear what he has to say, because this is applicable to a lot of people, more so in the policing field, maybe in other public service fields as well. But I don't know of anywhere else that the policing military field where this is so applicable, when enemies are known, trained, dealt with, and then you come home and are totally confused as to how could this possibly be. And I'm being vague intentionally. I don't want to steal the thunder.
Absolutely. I can't imagine.
Oh yeah.
In general, when you guys got back, and I know obviously everybody's situation is different, but when you leave home, like you had said, and like you said, when you leave home for years at a time, I mean, you come back and things change. Things are different.
There's so many roundabouts here now.
But things like that. And Bill, you mentioned the 5-point intersection. That if you left for service in 2000 and you came back in 2025, you plop down near Notre Dame, you'd think you are in a foreign country, Yeah.
I had to go to a meeting on Notre Dame, and when I left, there was no fences and gates everywhere. You could drive anywhere. And I come back, I'm like, I need to meet this person at this building. They're like, do you have a pass? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so different.
Things change.
Yeah.
Did you I'm just throwing it out there, any friendships change, any family relationships change when you left and come back? And you don't have to, get too personal, but just in general.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Family, not so much.
Okay.
They were, they were there. It was great. The open arms of mom. Nobody, you can never beat that.
You cannot.
No matter what happens.
Nope.
But the friends was a weird one, because look, I'll just boil this down to simplicity. We shouldn't have to, as human beings, but it is. Life gets in the way of life. So when we're doing our thing, when we did our thing, their life moved on.
Of course.
So people I hung out with, partied, danced on fireplaces with, or whatever I had to do. Those same people weren't there when I got back. No disrespect to them. Like I said, life got in the way of life, and it is what it is.
For sure. That makes sense. Any other?
I thought I was going to come home and jump right back into all my high school friends, and you're right. People got married. People moved on. People moved out of the city. I still have one of my best friends that I've been best friends with since 6th grade.
Yeah.
And she still lives here, and I still see her all the time now, and it's great. But yeah, even family dynamics change. Like when I left, my mom and my stepdad were married. When I came back on my first visit, they were divorced. I was like, oh, they were like, yeah, you were just the last kid. So
it's quite a difference.
But yeah, it's a huge difference. It just changes because life moves on.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was just more of an age thing. It would have happened regardless. Like at 18, you're all willing to go out and meet up at the same place and all that. And when you come back, people are in the house. They've got their kids. They're not coming over. Hey, you could come over to my house whenever you want. Or come visit when you're in town. Like, yeah, buddy, I got 37 people that want me to come stop by their house, and I've got kids and mom and dad and grandparents to visit too. So maybe getting together in one spot would help, but people
life
people
gonna
like me
life.
Yep.
This whole time here is about just honoring our veterans, honoring those who have served, but also understanding that there are services out there for those who do come back. And I mean, Victoria, you work for one. Were there any programs, local organizations, or resources that helped you transition back when you got back? And this for anybody. Specific any?
I had nothing.
You had nothing.
I had
See?
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I coming out much later than Chief here. There were some services. So I used InVets.
Okay.
I signed up with them, and for me, I was in such a unique situation with my family living in two different areas. So I settled in Indianapolis, and my boys live in Plymouth, and just wanting a remote job and COVID, and everybody's trying to get remote jobs. And, with my background, I'm just trying to figure out what do I want to do.
Yep.
And I wanted to land in a community and be a part of the team, like a principal at the school or the chief of police. Like, you get to know people, you get to know the surroundings, and you've got maybe some routines that you can establish. And for me, none of that was happening.
Yeah.
Invest didn't set me up with a job, but they put me in contact with multiple other situations.
Okay. And
then I guess it's a good time to mention Battlefields to Ball Fields.
That's where we're heading next. Let's talk about it. Your specific organization that helps support.
Yeah. Yep. So 2 years ago, Jen McNally and my sister Liz Krueper, we founded Vets to Refs. That molded and folded into, we merged into Battlefields to Ball Fields. And so now we're helping them, and it's basically getting veterans to become sports officials, and that provides purpose and passion, keeps them outside, keeps them active, gives the team, there's a whole new world that I didn't even know that complicated with being an official, but you got to sign up here, you get a text, hey, there's a game in 2 days, anybody want to sign up for it? It's a lot of things going on there, but I'm proud to help people who are interested in sports get back into it.
What can our listeners do to help support the organization?
You can go to www.battlefields2ballfields.org and just check it out. And then there's also obviously donations you can make. But just spread the word that like a veteran or someone who's been in the military or anyone who's been involved with sports, we want to give back. We want to help the community.
Yes.
And a good way to do that is through sports.
Yes.
Youth sports, high school sports. They're just practice without officials. So if we can keep people learning some of the life lessons that you learn on the field.
Yes.
Well, and it's hard to get some good referees out there. I've heard
I can't claim they're all good, but
even schools have to cancel games if there are no refs. So it's a great organization to do. Like, one of my nieces or my cousin's daughter had a little softball game, and they're like, "Will you come ref? We just need a ref." And I'm like, "I don't know how to ref this thing." You know what I mean? But they need more people to get involved in the communities like that.
And you can probably attest to the fact that kids, young, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds need athletics in their lives. They need extracurriculars in their lives in order to stay off the streets, to have a purpose. And so you can't be doing those things without the referees.
Right.
Absolutely. And we know we have our police athletic league, so we can always use help there. Well, heck yeah, I am. There's, we got anywhere from 1,200 to 1,600 kids every year that go through there. Now I was asking about the referee part. I know you're hurt, but I'm not running anymore. I'm just going to tell you. So if you need like a pickleball ref or a tennis ref, or like I could sit in a chair and go back, I could do that. But
do volleyball.
Yeah, you can do volleyball.
Back and forth, but I'm looking to see if I can't get into the replay. Just be in the replay.
I got your call. I'm that.
Instantly.
We need to do that. Do that. I
A
can do
replay
that.
official.
I do that for a living with body camera footage and everything else. So it is like the replay ref.
See, you're translating skills already. That's perfect.
See, everything translates.
Look at the hookup.
Yes, exactly right.
Well, and all those sports and getting people out gets the kids off of their devices and their phones and their tablets. Like, I was just asking my son the other day, I'm like, what do you want for Christmas and your birthday? Because his birthday's, and like, they don't need anything because all they need is this. And I get it. We're all addicted to our phones
of course.
And stuff, but it's like, go out and play. Just go ride a bike. Go do something. Go get in trouble a little bit.
Yes. Go get your knees dirty.
Yeah. Rub some dirt on it.
I got another program that helps probably a lot of people these days. And it just started like in 2000, maybe 18, 19. It's called DOD Skill Bridge.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And so for people transitioning out, they get to do, well, it depends by the service and the rank, but between 3 and 6 months of their last period of time in service as an intern at an entity, we'll call it, at a company that's signed up with the program. And you get to go and display your skills, your work ethic, all that. And they basically have you free for those 3 to 4 months to assess you and then hopefully hook you up with a job at the end. So it's like a way you keep your same pay coming, same insurance and all that. And then the company doesn't have to pay. So if there's a company out here looking for veterans to come help support, you could sign up and go through the paperwork to become a DoD skill bridge provider. So I did that myself at the IHSAA down in Indianapolis. But
nice. Just another program or for our listeners. Right. Victoria, you want to talk about InVet a little bit more?
Sure. Yeah. So we are actually part of the whole skill bridge program too. We try to help our transitioning service members that are getting out connect with companies that would like to host them for that time, kind of like a try before you buy, but also hoping to have that position on the end guaranteed to be hired for. But yeah, we help not only the transitioning service members, but we also help the spouses and we help the kids if they're old enough looking for work. It's all about the whole family unit. We are specific for Indiana, but other states are now picking up the same type of program. Like there's one in Kentucky called KY Valor. There's Find My Ohio in Ohio. There's Mission, Wisconsin. So a lot of them are doing
every
this.
State,
they're realizing not every state has it yet, but they're getting there.
They're picking up. Yeah.
Yep. Like what is it? Louisiana has the boot.
Okay.
And it's because people that have gotten out prior to like my generation, they didn't have the help. They didn't have the resources. They didn't know how to write a resume. I mean, we never had to negotiate for salaries. We would go in front of a board and get the next rank, So it's really hard to come out and be like, you want me to put 20 years on one piece of paper for a resume? How do I do that?
Wow. Yeah, I always laugh at like the elevator speech. Like, okay, you got how about 100 floor building? You got some time? For 20 years, that's a lot to wrap up.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what you were doing at Bone Frog.
Yeah, just trying to connect with companies.
Absolutely.
And letting them know, like, hey, you have positions that you're going to hire for anyways. I have veterans coming home that want jobs. Let's connect. Let's partner up. Give me your business card. I'll give you mine. You're not obligated to hire them, but hey, look at their skills and see if there's a position,
I love it. What a great resource. And I'll be sure to have the links to all of these that we talk about in our show notes so our listeners can click on there.
If there are companies that want to, I'm having a summit here in South Bend on March 4th too. So they can, they can surely reach out to me and connect with me.
And then that information will be on the website?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you it. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome.
And veterans, any veterans out there or spouses or anyone that wants to attend to look for a job, they can come too.
That's neat. That's great. Early spring, March 4th. All right. In your experience working with the community over the years, decades, South Bend Police, has there ever been a kiddo and maybe like 13, 14, 15, 16 who is running the streets, getting into trouble that you mentored or that you talked to or that you helped out who ended up joining the military at all?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You want to share a little bit about that?
I mean, good. So, yeah, kids that were in that predicament, but kids who weren't in that predicament as well. I don't want to give too much information. Let me just tell you, I was, believe it or not, at one time I was a patrol officer. And I wasn't on horseback like a lot of people. And I'm not that old, but I definitely was in patrol. And I'll never forget, and I won't say his name, but he was home on leave. I didn't know this. I got a call for somebody who was intoxicated and essentially in trouble at the area I was patrolling. So I pulled up on him, and sure enough, he was
feeling it.
He definitely was feeling it. So there's many conundrums in policing, but this is one of them that I've really struggled with. So I do my routine. I have no idea he's a military kid at all. He had just gotten in, came home on leave. Family was like, friends were like, and he was just out of his A school.
Yeah.
So
Fresh.
I'm really, it wasn't even that long. So it was like maybe 6 months he had been gone. So I do my cop stuff, pat him down, and I find something that shouldn't have been on him. Well, that item somehow accidentally got disposed of by him. And he was let go. And he was let go for several different reasons, and I won't get into them. But one of them was a military thing. So he flourished and retired from the military.
See, look at that.
And what could have happened was his career ruined. Not just the court martial, but you were talking the local things that could have went along with it. But somebody had the audacity to complain about destruction of evidence. First of all, I didn't destroy it, just as a disclaimer. But what evidence? I don't know what that was. I can surmise, but it could have been oregano. It could have been parsley. It could have been, I don't know what it was.
Of course.
Right.
But anyway, that's always stuck with me. And I always tell that to a similar version of that story to our newer officers. Not saying right, wrong, because everything.
Correct. No two situations are the same.
Right.
Yeah.
But in that manner, you felt that you would help that young man's life a lot more.
So with your original question, yes. So he actually, like I said, he had a whole career and a dozen, maybe more, that he was able to influence in our area to join the military, to come in, and not because of that, but along with that.
Right. A good enough scare that was like, oh my God, I got to get my life together. And right.
Scare or care.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, and it does. Maybe it was. Yeah, it could have been both. But whatever the reason, whatever the purpose for that happening, we got at least a dozen, probably more than that. I think he was being humble by saying that.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
He never forgot it, neither did I.
Yeah, that's neat. I got chills, man. Hey, you mentioned you have 50 something veterans on the police force, or
56. Yep.
Do you?
That's awesome, by the way.
That is awesome. Do you notice any notable differences that you can speak to?
Yeah, so I won't break it down into branch, because
I'm not even going that nitpicky.
Like,
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. So when it comes to defensive tactics, when it comes to this is what needs to be done, it is literally the easiest thing to do. The hardest thing to do is to turn off the robotics. I don't
untrain them.
Wow.
Yeah, untrain the robot. It's not wrong.
No, I understand.
But can you imagine you or your mom get stopped, all of a sudden, license, registration, please, ma'am, my name is Officer so-and-so. And it's like so methodical, robotic.
Yes.
It's okay, it's right if you do that for everyone, but it's not personable.
Yes.
It's not human beings. And there's a lot of times that we do take that out of the equation from the military and then flowing into the police. That's been one of the good news is, like I said, it is the training. This is second nature for everywhere from defensive tactics to handcuffing to emergency vehicle operations. All that kind of stuff is easier for them. I've seen. So that discipline in and of itself at every level certainly pays off from that.
That makes sense.
And it's an easy background check, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes. I wouldn't have even thought of that. The more personable side, because you're almost regimented in a certain way. All right, we'll wrap it up here. Surprisingly, we have been talking for 53 minutes, by the way.
Wow.
I told you it goes fast. We're going to wrap it up by asking each of you what seems like a simple question, but it may not be a simple answer. I'm going to ask it anyway. What are you most proud of from your time in the service? Victoria.
I guess knowing that the missions that were happening over there, whether it was my B-1 bomber that was dropping the bombs or the tankers that were refueling the planes that are going to do the fight, that we did our part to a bigger mission.
Yes.
Where we helped protect that or enable the soldiers on the ground to do their part, protecting the skies. In the Air Force, we weren't the ones running on the ground a lot, but we would send our planes up in the sky, and it felt good to know that they would go and they'd come back and there would be less weapons on board because we were protecting or doing what we signed up to do.
Absolutely. Together. Like everybody has a piece in the bigger puzzle of whatever the mission is.
Exactly.
Hey, Bill, what are you most proud of?
So, serving and making that choice to serve, I said that veterans you can't put them all in the same lump, but we all had the courage to step up and do what everybody knows needs to be done. And so I'm proud of all of the brothers and sisters who made that choice just in the first place. And then I always think back on when I was doing a mission and trying to feel exactly like, what are we doing? What are we accomplishing? But as we step forward to do our role, that means everyone else in the community is still back home on the land of the free, enjoying their freedom, doing what we want them to continue to do.
Right.
And then that's why it hurts sometimes when people aren't just being humans and treating each other like we want them to do, and like we're thinking, oh, it's back America. Can't wait to get back to the USA. And then you come back and some things aren't going so well, and you're like, what was I doing? Right. So when you see people getting along, it brings it full circle.
Dang right.
Better.
Dang right. Same question, Scott. What are you most proud of your service?
Same thing, just like Bill said. And this is, as you're talking, I'm reminiscing. At the time when you're doing a mission, like I told you before, I'm chasing invisible submarines around in 100 by 100 by 100 by 100. At the time, you don't think about it because that's what you do. Right. That's what you're trained to do. But when I stepped away from it, I realized just what you said. I did that for everybody else. It is nothing. Yeah. There was not one thing that was in it for me. Everything was for thee. So that, I think, was probably the biggest. And I just tell you personally, that's why I've continued. That's always been there. Maybe it came in little dinky layers, but man, it's always been there in every one of us. I don't care who it is. It's always been there.
Man, I don't think I've had more chills doing an interview than in this one. And so I thank you for your time, you three. Thank you for your service. Again, I'm glad just to have a little part of this, and I'm hoping that our listeners have a full appreciation and that they thank you guys for all your service as well. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Thank you for having us, Matt.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Round the Bend Now and Then. An extra special thanks to Bill Krueper, Victoria Molnar, and Scott Ruszkowski for your time, your insight, and more importantly, for your service. Join us again next time as we learn more about the South Bend and Mishawaka areas now and then.